interrupt this program for an important news announcement.
Throughout history, humanity has feared many things. Plagues, wars, even taxes. But one town took it just a bit too far. They tried to ban the actual moon. Yes, folks, an actual town in Virginia once tried to pass a law on Earth's oldest nightlight. The reason? Well, let's just say logic wasn't invited to the meeting. What was the moon doing that was so bad? Was it loitering? Being too bright at night? Raising the tides without a permit? Buckle up, because this story gets dumber from here. Let's talk about it. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. Yes, you just heard that correctly. A town in Virginia once declared, "Girls, today we are stealing the moon." And how did that go for them? Well, the moon is still there, so I'm going to assume it didn't really go to plan. Let's take a step back for a second. Welcome to Chesapeake, Virginia in 1996. It looks like a nice little place. They've got rivers, they've got forests, they've got a bench. Not many places can claim to have a bench. They got boats and sunsets. They got houses in patterns that look like they were made on city skyline. They got amphibious trees. Look at them, living in water and whatnot. And it's one of the largest cities in the state. The second largest, in fact. Population is about 250,000. It was founded in 1963, and it's known for the Great Dismal Swamp National Wildlife Refuge. Sounds like a lovely little place to live, unless you were living there in 1996. So in 1996, everybody was getting on with life. It was great. This was a great place to live. Wow, everybody's happy, chilling on their rare benches, when all of a sudden, hang on a minute, crime, robberies, petty thefts, bank heists, explosions in the parking lots, the crime of being too handsome, mooning, just to stay on topic, and I'm not showing a picture for that one. That's right, crime is running rampant everywhere, and the blame is placed on one of two things: poor paychecks, people not being able to get to the end of the month, the children are famished, they're barely scraping by and they're desperate, or the second option, the moon. Which one seems a bit more probable? Yes, people believe that the moon was increasing crime. It's not people that kill people, it's moons that kill people. So why blame the moon of all things? There's 1,000 things you could probably blame before the moon. Why the moon? It's a mix of folklore, pseudoscience, and selective memory bias. And people think the moon makes people crazy, even though scientifically, it's not possible. The word lunatic literally comes from the word luna, meaning moon. Therefore, ancient people thought the moon caused things like madness, strange behaviour, and violence. Hence why we've got things like werewolves that only become werewolves during a full moon and things like that. And some claim that since the moon can control ocean tides, it must somehow control the fluids in our body as well, because we're mostly made of water. The problem is that the moon's pull on your body is even weaker than the gravity of the chair you're sitting on. And police, doctors, nurses, firefighters, they all believe that more crime happens during a full moon. And believe it or not, hospitals and police departments actually staff more workers during full moons, even though studies show no real effect. I think it's just prettier to do it that night. Not that I do any crime. Therefore, a city council member jokingly proposed that maybe we should ban the moon altogether. This is actually part of a long list of ridiculous bans, such as dyeing being illegal in Norway, margarine being banned for looking like butter in Canada, blue jeans being banned in North Korea for being too Western, and being overweight in Japan, which is, it's not really illegal, it's a long story, or reincarnation needing government approval in China. Now, you wouldn't think that things like this even need to be mentioned or even need to be laws, but some way, somehow, they are. But how exactly are you supposed to ban the moon? Do we put a dome over the city and then somebody rides a motorcycle up it in a really cool fashion and then throws a suitcase through it, which then explodes and the dome comes down, saving everyone in the town so they can see the moon again? Maybe. That should be a movie. Because I assume the government law would state that the moon is not absolutely allowed to appear in the sky. And if the moon were to disobey, what's the punishment? A fine? Deportation? A strong worded letter? Where are we going with this? Can you sue the moon? I don't think you can sue the moon. I don't think the letter can reach the moon. He's not ever reading that letter. And who would represent the moon in court? Jurist to right? Astro litigate. You could ban people from going outside during a full moon, or even committing crimes during a full moon. But then again, I'm not sure you're supposed to commit crimes even without a full moon. So ignore that, that's a silly idea. Or maybe we can pull a 1950s US and try nuking the moon. Yeah, the US genuinely considered nuking the moon to show off its firepower. Or we could all just pretend it doesn't exist, like this guy. And as soon as you acknowledge it, you get shredded, like an actual piece of paper in a human-sized shredder. You just and you turn into happy string. Long story short, you can't ban the moon, but you can waste a lot of time trying. But hypothetically speaking, what would happen if we managed to suddenly ban the moon? Like, moon no more, gone, adios, see you later, space. There would be no tides, which means the ocean ecosystem would collapse. The nights would be way darker, man. Like, super dark. Like, oh my god, that dark? That's very dark. Werewolves? Probably out of a job. So yes, as absurd as it may seem to ban the moon, don't worry, it never actually happened. It was just a surreal something that someone threw at the world and said, you know what would be really, really funny? They were probably high as a kite, not gonna lie. And thus this story was created. Somehow something from 96 made it all the way to 2025, even though it never actually happened and it was just someone's joke. Everybody's still alive, the moon is still very high in the sky, and justice will not be served this time around. And if your crime rate is high and it is a full moon, it's probably just because we're all the human equivalent of a mosquito and bright lights attract us. But anyway, guys, this is probably going to be a short one. It was just a topic I wanted to tackle. I could have made a TikTok on it, to be fair, but I thought I'd make a YouTube video. It's more fun. Let me know if you guys have ever heard of like a dumber ban than this. Surely there's some dumb ones out there somewhere. And remember to leave all your suggestions in the comments section below. I would love to know what you guys want me to make a video on. Subscribe if you haven't already. Big things coming at 7K. And maybe together we can start a petition to ban dust particles. Imagine that, you never have to dust your shelves again. Polish, a thing of the past. Polish, still around. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all. Take care. See you in a bit. Guys, if we hit 7,000 subscribers, how can I put this?